It's mid-season review time, and today we're focusing in on the Melbourne Demons. This is the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome on in to the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We've got another mid-season review video coming your way today, and it is the Melbourne Demons we're focusing on today. As each team gets to the bye, we are doing a little mid-season review of each team. We're almost done. I mean, there's only, 5 more to go after this one. One more week of buys coming up. We've got Melbourne today. West Coast will be coming out onto the YouTube channel tomorrow. And then next week we'll have the remaining 4 teams. So go check all the rest out. There's a little playlist for you to check out of all the other teams. Don't forget to check out the podcast as well. Goes live twice a week on the Spotify channel, YouTube channel, and also Apple Podcasts. All Aussie Rules everywhere. Go check it out. Let's jump into this one. Plan for this episode. We'll have a look at the season so far for each team. In this case, Melbourne. We'll have a look at all their players, how they're going so far this season. And then we'll wrap it up with what we can expect to see from them for the rest of season 2025. So that's the plan. Let's jump into it. First up, we have season so far for the Demons. And boy, oh boy, did it start rough for them. Opening round, they obviously had the bye. They came out of that with a little bit of a loss streak to start the season, losing their first 5 matches. Their first one against GWS in the wet at the MCG was actually a pretty good performance from them. Obviously, GWS had played the week before and played outstanding. Melbourne came out and looked okay in that. And after that one, I had some semi-decent hopes that they were going to perform pretty well this season. But they followed that up quite poorly. North Melbourne, they got smacked by 59 points. I think they were only 17 points down at three-quarter time. But from that point on, they got absolutely belted. Gold Coast took care of them at the MCG by 58 points. Then Geelong took care of them by 39 points down at GMHBA Stadium. The Bombers took care of them at Adelaide Oval by 39 points in gather round. And things were looking really bad at this point, 0-5. And then all of a sudden, they just turned it around a little bit. Really gutsy win at the MCG by 10 points over Fremantle. Granted, it was in Melbourne, but still a really good performance against a team that's pretty competitive this season so far. Richmond at the MCG, they got by 20 points. West Coast over in the West by 32 points. Hawthorn at the MCG lost by 35 points. Hawthorn obviously expected to be a pretty good team, so not too bad there. Then probably the best win of their season so far. And one of the bigger upsets of the season so far, Brisbane Lions at the Gabba, reigning premiers by 11 points. Really big win. Then beat the reigning runners-up team, Sydney, at the MCG by 53 points in an absolute belting. And then this is where their season officially kind of hit the brakes, because they'd got themselves back into a point where they're 5 wins, 6 losses after 11 games. But a couple of these losses have effectively ended that run, I think. St Kilda at Alice Springs by 28 points, probably needed to win that one. Collingwood at the MCG by 1 point. You forgive that loss, it's against the top of the ladder team, but they were well and truly in that and had every chance to win that match. And then Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval by 25 points, heading into the bye, pretty much ended their season, I think. So they go into the bye 5-9, percentage of 87.1, so not great. 15th on the ladder. Record against the top 8, 2 wins, 5 losses. Those 2 wins against Fremantle, Brisbane. And then record against the bottom 10, 3-4. So that's where it's disappointing for them. Losing too many games against bottom teams to be competitive this season. They've lost to North Melbourne. They've lost to Essendon. They've lost to St Kilda and Port Adelaide, who are all bottom 8 teams or bottom 10 teams so far this season. So, that basically sums up where they're at so far from this season. We'll have a look at some of the key stats for the Demons so far in 2025. First, scoring for and against. Offensively, 12th best team. Defensively, 12th best team. So maybe sitting 12th to 15th on the ladder is about where we can expect to see them this year. They're not really putting the numbers up that suggest that should be better. So far this season, they've been the fourth most experienced team, which is a little bit concerning when you think about how far they've dropped off. Maybe it is a little bit of a process now where they have to start thinking rebuild, because at the fourth most experienced team on the park and not playing finals in back-to-back years would be a concerning point in their development. They have had some good young players come through this season, so don't get me wrong, they have started developing some young players, but it is a thought that will be going through their minds, I'm sure. Forward half of the ground, they somehow dominate having the ball in their forward half. Fourth most time in their forward half in the competition so far this year. Only teams above them are the Bulldogs, Collingwood and Gold Coast. So that suggests that they're really good at getting the ball in their forward half, but really, really poor at converting it into scores. And this next stat is probably another reason for showing this, is they've got the worst rebound 50 percentage in the competition. So that shows that teams are getting goals more often than against them than any other team when the other team goes forward. So their defense just isn't doing a great job at stopping the opposition from scoring, and that has really affected their ability to win games of football. Their scoring from the defensive half is 18th in the competition, so they do get the ball, keep the ball in their forward line quite a lot, but they have this inability to convert it into scores, and that's the major issue for them at the moment. They've had a lot of losses between the margins of 30 and 60 points, which just goes to show that they're just not quite at the level of their opposition at the moment too often. We'll jump into the player-by-player analysis, and as we have for each team, we're going to start in the back line with the key defenders. Daniel Turner is the only one as their key defender that's rating as elite at the moment. And it is worth noting that he has played multiple positions. He's overall been as a key defender more often than a key forward, according to my numbers. But he has been very good. I think some of his best games have been in the forward line. I don't know where he's best at personally, but I think he's played a really good role this season. So we'll see where he is for the rest of the year and what that evolves into. But he's been very good, I think, so far this year. Stephen May, as always, top-class key defender. He's 8th best in the competition. Tom McDonald's been really good this year. He's probably been their biggest improver in that backline. Jake Lever, a little bit below his best. Played only the 6 games, but ranked 35 as a key defender so far. General defenders, Jake Bowie, rated in that top-class category, 12th best general defender. So he's put together a good season so far. Christian Salem, also acceptable range, 37th best. But then the rest of them, a little bit below average, which is not ideal. Judd McPhee, Caleb Windsor, Blake Howes, all not quite at the average or better range. Taj Woden is currently unranked, as he's only played 1 game. Little explanation that I forgot to do before we jumped into these positions. Every player gets a rating from every game, works out to be an average. If they play less than 50% of game time in a game, that game does not count towards their rating. We also put a position for each player. They get ranked on that. So each position then gets ranked into top 10%, which is elite, 10 to 25%, which is top class, 25 to 40% is above average, 40 to 60% is average, and then everyone below 60% is below average. Anyone that's currently played less than 5 games this season is currently unranked. That's basically the long and the short of this rating system. We use this every week here at All Aussie Rules. I'm going to start releasing more content on it each game as well, each week, all over social media and on the YouTube channel. So go check all of that out. But yeah, that's just a basic little synopsis of how this system works. Their backline, overall, they've got enough players performing well. They probably need a couple more general defenders up into the average range. I think Judd McPhee has the capabilities of certainly getting there. Caleb Windsor and Blake Howes also. So they have the potential in this backline to be a really solid backline going forward, but as it stands so far this year, maybe not quite there. Forward line, sorry. We always go backline, forward line. My bad. Key forwards, this is their biggest issue, I think, is their key forward situation. It's not an elite. It's not even an acceptable, I don't think, key forward lineup that they have at the moment. So far, number one ranked key forward is Bailey Fritsch, who is arguably not even a key forward and wouldn't be at most teams. You probably have him as your third key forward, if anything. He does play that lead-up forward, but he rates below average, but should he be even as a key forward? Who knows? But 34th best key forward in the competition. Jacob Van Rooyen, he's 40th, so he's even lower. Harrison Petty, I don't think, is currently up to the scratch of a key forward either. So their best three key forwards are all rated in the below average category. You need two in average or better. No, there's no doubt about it. So they're just not performing their forward line at the moment, and I think that's just due to the fact that the troops just aren't there as key forwards. Matthew Jefferson, Aidan Johnson, and Tom Fullerton have all played not many games, but also their numbers aren't spectacular from the games that they have played. General forwards, once again, a bit like their key forwards, not performing well enough. You take out Cade Chandler and the numbers really don't read that well in this general forward lineup. Cade Chandler been really good. The one standout in this general forward lineup. 16th best in the competition. So still not elite. He's only in the top class category. But that puts him in a league of his own, basically, in this forward line. The only player in the Melbourne forward line that is currently average or better. Which is just, you're not going to win games of football with that. So he's good. He's rated pretty well this season. He's had some really good games, especially early season. Tom Sparrow, below average, 54th. Jake Melksham, 10 games below average, 55th. Charlie Spargo, 76th. Then a couple unranked players, Henderson, Thorpe, both unranked, obviously. Harry Sharp's played 12 games. His rating is not spectacular at all. He's 84th best as a general forward. And Bailey Laurie's played just the one game and didn't even play 50% game time in that match. So this is by far Melbourne's biggest weakness. It's where they have to find some talent. There's no doubt about it. They need to bulk up that key forward stocks. I've got no issue with Bailey Fritsch. The others, I just don't think are performing well enough. Well, he isn't either overall this season, but he's certainly capable of being better. And the general forwards, they need more backup for Cade Chandler. You need probably 3 general forwards at least that rate average or better. And they just don't have that in their lineup at the moment, and that is a major concern for them. Moving on to the midfield lineup. And this is probably where their most talent is outside of key defence. You look at it and it reads okay. They're not perhaps at their best. But Christian Petrarca, top class again, 23rd best midfielder. He is capable of being top 10. As I think all 3 of those top 3 players there are capable of being top 10 midfielders. So they're all slightly below what they are capable of. Pickett, he's above average this year. He's had some outstanding games. I think we'll see him rise up over the next couple of years. I expect him to be an elite midfielder at some point. Clayton Oliver, we've seen him at his best. He is capable of being in the top 10 midfielders. Maybe he's past that now. Maybe he's not. But average is still not too bad. He'd probably want to be a little bit higher than that, though. Trent Rivers as your 4th midfielder, 64th in the competition. And Jack Viney, 71st from 9 games. So their elite inside mids are really good. They drop off, though, and perhaps haven't been at their best. Outside mids, Ed Langdon's been outstanding. He's played multiple roles, outside mid, inside mid, a little bit of general forward, a little bit of general defender. Wherever he's kind of needed is where he plays. And he rates top class. So overall, he's pretty much their go-to as Mr. Fix-It around the ground. And he's probably having one of his best seasons. yeah, that's basically all I have to say about him. But yeah, he's been good. Probably their biggest standout this year is Harvey Langford, first year player. He's come in top class, 10th best outside mid. I think he's second in Rising Star ratings so far. So of all the players that are eligible for the Rising Star, he's second, only behind Archie Roberts from Essendon. So he's having an outstanding season, certainly in the discussion at the moment for Rising Star. A lot of people think that he should get it, and he may well get it. He's been very good this season. And as a first-year player, he's doing everything he needs to and can do. So he's been really good. Xavier Lindsay, another one that's kind of playing that position. Not quite to the level of the others, but I think we've seen enough from him so far to suggest that he's got a bright future as well at Melbourne Football Club. So they've found a couple good young players there. Jack Billings only played the one game so far, unranked. Ruckman, they've only had the one so far this year. Max Gawn, absolutely outstanding ruckman over many years. 5-6 weeks ago, I had him as the number one ruckman in the competition, and the ratings kind of suggested that as well. But then that was when they were winning games, and then Tristan Cherry kind of took over the last 6 weeks or so, and clearly is now number one ruckman in the ratings so far this year. Max Gawn still number 2, and overall I still consider him probably the best ruckman in the AFL for what he's done over the last 5 years, but he is currently ranked number 2 as a ruckman in the competition. 4th best player overall in the competition so far this year though, so he's having a fantastic season, as he always does. You can always rely on Maxi Gawn. A little synopsis of the positional spread and how they are all rated. Obviously, their key defenders is really good, and that's why I think Daniel Turner needs to play full-time forward, basically, because they've got no key forwards, and they've got plenty of decent talent in that key defender line. General defenders, they've only got 2 in average or above category, so a little bit low there. Key forwards, they've got nothing. That is a massive concern for them. They need to find a way to get some key forwards rating better than they are. General forwards, just the one, average or better. You need multiple of them. Inside mids, not doing too bad there. They would probably just want either Petrarca or Pickett up into that elite category. Outside mids is looking okay, and Ruckman's looking okay. So overall, the spread's not too bad. It's just that key forward line and general forward. The whole forward arc, basically, their front 6 is just not getting the job done. And you can't blame it on the ball not getting down there. You can maybe blame it on how the ball gets down there, but they're spending the ball spending 4th most amount of time in their forward half in the whole competition. So they're getting plenty of opportunity, just maybe not using it that opportunity as well as other teams. Moving on to what they still have to come this year, little explanation on this. Expected win percentage is worked out by our ELO rating system. We rate every team after every game, and it kind of fluctuates, and that is currently how it stands. That gives us expected wins and expected ladder position at the end of the season. By round 15, which is happening as this video is released, round 16, they come out of the bye, heading up to the Gold Coast to play the Suns. That will be a tough one. It's hard to see them winning that, especially after the Suns gave them a belting at the MCG earlier this year. Round 17, it does not get easier for them. Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. Very difficult task, 2 weeks in a row out of the bye. Then they head back to Victoria, and they stay in Victoria for the rest of the year. North Melbourne at the MCG. North Melbourne not the best team at the MCG, but you never know. Could be a win for either team. Depends on form at the moment. You'd probably almost say North Melbourne got to be a good chance in that one. Carlton at the MCG. Depending on how Carlton are going at that point, who knows. St Kilda at Marvel will be a tough one. St Kilda hugely better at Marvel Stadium, and Melbourne probably worse at Marvel. Round 21, they have West Coast at Marvel. That is a definite winnable game. And then the final 3 weeks are all tough. all at the MCG, all against finalists, expected finalists at this stage. Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, Collingwood. 3 tough ones to finish their season. It's very hard to see a world where they win enough games to make finals. Going by the expected win percentage would give them 8.5 wins, basically, for the season. Expected ladder position of 15th, which is where they sit right now. They're on, 5 wins, I think, for the season going into the bye. They would need to win basically 8 out of 9 games coming home to have any chance of playing finals, and it's very hard to see them winning 8 games in that run. You'd think maybe 3 would be a stretch. So it's going to be tough to see them playing finals. That's pretty much all we have for you for the Melbourne Demons. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Every interaction helps. Let your friends know. Let everybody know. All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We have content every week for you. We have the podcast. We have plenty of mid-season reviews still to come. So make sure you jump in to the comments. Let me know how Melbourne are going to go the rest of the season. It's not looking bright for them. Maybe a rebuild on the cards. Who knows? But that is the Melbourne Demons 2025 mid-season review. Catch us on the next one.